Welcome back. Well, Michael Avenatti, you know the name, right? He rose to fame in the last year as the attorney of the adult film star Stormy Daniels, who took on President Trump. Well, now he is in some legal trouble of his own after last week it emerged that he was arrested and charged with domestic violence. Now, TMZ is the one that broke this story. They originally said his wife was involved. Later turned out it was actually his girlfriend. Today, we have learned that that girlfriend, Ronn Blitzer, says that he was verbally and physically abusive to her, and she has now filed a restraining order. But of course, Michael Avenatti not going to take this lying down. He has been defending himself on Twitter from the very start, and I want to show you the latest tweet from just the last hour or so, in which he wrote, "I want the truth to be known, all of it, the truth about the alleged incident on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, as well as the truth about TMZ's completely false reporting about last Wednesday afternoon. I want it all disclosed ASAP. As a result, I just authorized the release of all the videos." So he signed something that's authorized the release of some surveillance video. Ronn Blitzer, senior legal editor for Law&Crime.com, has been following this story. So let's talk about these new developments. First of all, what is the latest we are hearing that Avenatti allegedly did?
So today we found out through court documents, as reported originally by TMZ, that basically what this woman, Ronn Blitzer, is claiming is that she and Michael Avenatti were at his apartment. They were having some sort of argument about money. He, yelled at her. And then, called her, used some colorful language to insult her that I won't repeat now. Allegedly hit her in the face with a pillow, grabbed her by the wrist, pulled her off of a bed, and then pulled her out into the hallway, and then later, I think, pulled her back in. So there seemed to be some sort of physical and verbal altercation here, and then eventually she allegedly went down stairs to security, where she was kept in a private area until a friend was able to come get her.
I mean, TMZ, for what it's worth, whether we can believe them or not, based on a lot of the reporting that they've gotten wrong on this, says that she ran to a neighbor's doorbell in just a t-shirt and underwear, but then he grabbed her and dragged her back, which makes you think, well, there must be some witnesses who kind of saw something that was going on. Let's talk about the legal action you see here that Avenatti is threatening to take. He says he's going to sue TMZ cockroaches over this story. It's actually a little Trumpian, huh?
Yeah, very much so. There's a news story about Avenatti that he doesn't like very much, and understandably so, and he's saying that he's going to sue TMZ because it's fake news, so to speak. So there is potentially some merit to this. Whether he did commit any kind of crime or not, there seems to be some inconsistency between TMZ's latest report and their initial report. As a reminder, first, when this was reported, it was said to be a domestic violence incident between Avenatti and his estranged wife. That was later corrected. It was not his wife at all. This was a different woman. That part was corrected, but the initial report said that the woman involved suffered a swollen and bruised face.
Right.
Now, that may or may not have been the case when police came onto the scene and observed injuries. However, the details that we learned today only made reference to scratches on her leg and side, nothing to do with a bruised face. So, that could be grounds for Avenatti if that's not corrected.
I mean, does he have a case that they just have gotten this reporting wrong? And to be honest, I haven't followed TMZ every day. I know initially they didn't issue a retraction like a more traditional news operation, like the New York Times might issue a written retraction, a correction. They really haven't done that. So, does he potentially have a case against them?
It's possible, but at the same time, you have to look at the harm. Now, he's being accused of committing a crime, but if it turns out that he still committed that crime, then there would be substantial truth to it, even if some of the details are a little bit different. And then you have to look at what kind of harm was caused by whatever possible false statement there was compared to what the truth actually is. So it gets a little tricky there.
Yeah, we will see if he follows through. He says in the last few hours on Twitter, TMZ cannot even reconcile their story from last week with their story from today. Their conduct is disgusting. They need to rectify it immediately. We demand a retraction and an apology now. I want to just briefly talk about the other tweet he put out about just about an hour ago about wanting the videos to be released. It's a letter, actually, it appears to be the management company of the building where he lives, saying that he requests that the building immediately release to his attorney and the Los Angeles PD all the footage recorded from that night. First of all, I mean, I would think the police maybe already obtained that video in the course of their investigation. And does he have a say in whether or not the building is going to release that?
No, so that's what's interesting about this. You know, he is making it look like he really wants to get to the bottom of this, and he's doing everything in his power to get this evidence out there. And that may be the case. You know, he may be innocent. He's innocent until proven guilty, and it could very well be that he wants this to get out there. But as you said, he doesn't really have a say in this. So this letter doesn't mean a whole lot. If the police want to get this, they're going to get it. If it's the building's footage, they're going to have a say over whether or not to turn it over also.
You know, I got to say, when this first broke and you see this, that he had beaten up his wife, and then she came out to the Washington Post shortly after and said, I haven't seen him in months, and he would never do this. People thought, oh, well, this is just a lie. This is just a smear. But, you know, is it that black and white, really? You know, is it possible that this woman is just wrongfully accusing him? I guess anything is possible, right?
Yeah, and then you throw in Jacob Wall and Surefire and all of that. You know, you had, this person who had allegedly planned on planting fake allegations against Robert Mueller, and then his organization had tweeted something about them striking again after the allegations against Avenatti came out, and Avenatti jumped on that and said, "Oh well, this is bogus." Now, Jacob Wall later said, "Oh, I was just joking, or I wasn't really making allegations against him." So that may be a non-story right there, especially if these allegations turn out to be true.
Well, it will certainly be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, I feel like this could impact his presidential ambitions, but you never know, because it didn't hurt our president, right? The allegations. So, Ron, thank you so much for joining me here to talk about this, and thank you for your great reporting on the story. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going back to the Nicholas Godejohn trial. Stay with us.